Surprise, motherfucker.
All right.
Seminoles quick and can't handle the blitz. Boys in blue, so bend in the midst. Comes Notre Dame in the zone. Smackdown City, every yard our throne. Irish pride, we don't play. Taking down the Seminoles all day.
All day.
Clutch kicks every play precise.
You hear that, Clutch?
Yeah.
Taking every play right on.
Shaking can't throw right. Irish defense, bright as stadium lights. Here comes Notre Dame in the zone.
Notre Dame. Yep, I wrote this 15 minutes ago. Just came to my head.
We're both. This is episode 29.2, and we
It
got to be
is.
quiet because the families are trying to go to bed.
Now I gotta be really quiet.
This is Pillow Talk tonight. 29.2 FM. Pillow Talk. Where we come
Hey, guys.
and we talk to you in your pillow.
Oh, is Clutch talking? What are you talking about?
I do pillow talk.
I have to go really low to hear you.
It's
Okay.
Pillow
I know it's
29.2 FM. This is Pillow Talk.
This is actually how I actually started the last episode that we did not air. It was I said this is the quiet stuff
Yeah, and then
featuring
you went,
Mannix and Clutch.
and then you went off the rail.
I know.
We need to air that. We air that for the people on Patreon.
Yeah. So, hey guys, go to Patreon, look for Broish. We're probably not there. So actually, no, the coffee thing. Go make a coffee donation. What's the coffee thing? I still got money from you in there.
I vaguely remember that from like 8 years ago, but yeah.
Buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee. Go to the Buy Me a Coffee. Look up Broish, and
All right.
yeah.
I have.
Oh, it's not done. Lincoln Park's still going.
Oh,
here.
it's still. It's got. You got it
No,
on
this is
loop.
the tail end.
Cut it off.
The tail end.
So,
All right.
how do you want to do this episode? I've got a
Hold on.
bunch
Can
of
I
notes.
can I formally introduce the show, Clutch?
Yeah,
Clutch.
sorry.
Hey guys, this is Broish featuring Mannix, Mannix, and Clutch, my brother, and we're just two brothers talking Notre Dame football on a quiet Saturday night. Quiet Saturday.
29.2 FM Pillow Talk. Right out
Talk.
of WJLB.
And the Irish were anything but quiet tonight as they wrapped up a 50. I'm saying tonight, but it's when you guys listen to it, it's Saturday night. Saturday night they wrapped up a very 52-3 victory over the Florida State Seminoles. Not surprising since there was a 25-point spread. Why am I whispering this low?
I don't know.
I can talk a little bit
Talk
louder.
a little
than
bit
that.
louder.
Yeah. Anyways, no, 52 to 3. I think Florida State kicked that field goal in the first quarter.
Yep.
And Notre Dame held them scoreless the rest of the way. I feel bad. I really do for the Seminoles. I hate watching these types of games, especially like a Florida State, because you want to be more competitive. We always thought this was going to be a little bit more competitive at the beginning of the season, and then Florida State just took a dive right off the bat.
Yeah. The people that said, "Hey, Notre Dame schedules a weak schedule," really? Texas A&M was going to be a tough game, and Florida State was undefeated last year. And they were ranked in the top 10. So you're going to tell us now it's a bad schedule? Of course it is, because they went to shit. It's like, Jesus.
I believe, Clutch, that Florida State was a top 10 preseason team.
That's what I just said. Yeah. Preseason because they were undefeated last year.
Yeah. Like all expectations,
they were
going to come in and actually that was going to be the marquee game against Notre Dame. That's why it was a night game. That's why it was a 7:30 game at night at Notre Dame Stadium.
It should have been a 3:30 normal shit.
Does anybody want to sit in Notre Dame Stadium on, the second or the first week of November and, freeze their ass off? Well, it wasn't cold, though. It wasn't cold. It was probably like mid-50s. It was supposed to rain. I was going to go to the game, and I was looking at tickets. It was supposed to rain.
Oh, yeah. It's 60. It got warm. It's 60.
Yeah, it did. It warmed up because
shit.
because that front's coming in, Clutch. We got to talk about fronts. Fronts are coming
Weather
in.
boy. Yeah, we need to get the weather boys on here.
Weather boys. So yeah, we do actually. It would actually be pretty cool. Maybe we'll do it for the playoffs. I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. Derek's team will not be in it. Michigan, they're not going to make the playoffs.
Well, they've Florida State has a Michigan syndrome in that they were really good last year and really suck this year.
Now, Allen, I don't know about Allen. We're talking about, if you don't know, we talk about the Weather Boys. Check them out, YouTube, Weather Boys. It's a couple guys I work with, 2 weathermen doing crazy, fun stuff. Derek Kevra, Allen Longstreet. Derek went to U of M, and Allen went to your alma mater, Central Clutch. And he actually worked down at WNDU, or actually intern maybe. I'll have to ask him. But he spent like a summer or something like that in South Bend. So anyway,
so the guy that went to U of M, did he actually major in meteorology?
I think so. I mean, it's probably a different term for it. I don't know if it was.
No, but it's probably. I mean, I know Central has a decent program because I remember sitting there watching some of them in class and doing some stuff. So, yeah.
All right, so we're getting off on a tangent here.
Yeah,
but
sorry.
Long story short, there was a nice little warm front that's coming into South Bend and our area, and the rain held off. It was supposed to rain during the game, and so it's holding off until I think later on here Saturday night. Anyways, Clutch, I mean, you said you took a bunch of notes in the first half.
Yeah.
What are some of those things that you jotted down? I guess we start for the first series. Notre Dame got the ball and they went all the way down the field, and Riley Leonard, nice run.
Yeah, so I did not break it down by series, but I broke it down by quarters. So at least we got that. So first quarter, I've got first TD. What's up with launching to the pylon as a quarterback? Dude, that motherfucker is going to hurt his ass, and we're not going to have him anymore. Which may not be a bad thing because Peanut Butter Jelly, I still think is a great quarterback. But why the fuck?
We cannot. Go ahead.
Why would he launch? Why would you launch like you're a running back over the fucking pylon on that run? Just run the fuck out of bounds.
Because he's a tough kid, Clutch. He's a tough kid. He's a big guy, and
baby face,
baby face. But he's a tough guy. I mean, yes. What quarterback launches like a missile? Like right into the. I mean, and he didn't even try to protect his head.
Jackson. What is his name? I say Lamarius. That's wrong. Jackson from the
from Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Lamar Jackson.
Him doing it. Lamar Jackson would.
Yeah,
but you're not going to see
two different body types. though.
Yeah,
and he can kind of lower to the ground and sneak in a little hole or whatever and hit the ground. Riley Leonard launched his whole 200 and some pound body, like
6'4" bitch. Yeah,
like he lofted it pretty high.
He looked like a California condor flying over the fucking end of that pylon. The other note
look pretty, but
the other note I've got is run defense and run offense with love.
We paused for a second though. You're right though. He should not be making those types of plays where he's sacrificing his body because. And it's not because he's, I know we have a decent backup quarterback, a proven backup quarterback. Proven. I just said proven. Steve Angeli.
I'm going to say solid.
He's decent. Well, he's decent. He started one game, Clutch. He started one game so far, right? So anyways, and he won it. So anyways, we cannot lose our leading rusher. And that's him. Even though we do have some great backs that played really well tonight. Actually, Jadarian Price played really well tonight. I thought he played, better than Love did.
Love sucked ass. I've got many comments in here about Love all night long.
Go ahead then.
But yeah, at first quarter, run defense and run offense with Love sucked all first quarter. And then I'll go on and say that, and I'll skip it the rest of my notes, but run defense and run offense with Love sucked the whole game. I don't think they did really good with the run defense at all either, even though at times the quarterback was back and they had a good pass rush and had I think 8 sacks, close to the record.
I was going
9 against Michigan State, but
when I was contemplating and I'm writing this song before the show, I wasn't writing it, but I was thinking to myself, South Bend was Sack City tonight.
Sack. I have down at the bottom, very last note. Everything in the game, sack fest.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then another thing, and I totally forgot to do it, was do this. Like, what was this the whole time?
It was this.
Yeah, what is this? What was that?
I don't know. This is like jingling the bell like you're a rich guy and you've got Grey Poupon in your hand. I don't know what that is.
Did you see Riley Mills when he got his third sack? When he was just like he turned around, he was like
Counted them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's those guys are and then you know what? I don't know what happened in the last play, that interception return by God knows who, number 20. What was it,
Luke Talich. I've got a comment about him. You're jumping to fourth quarter. You're jumping ahead.
I know, but
we'll
wait. Let's wait. Okay, let's wait.
Yeah, chronologically go.
Okay.
Second quarter, crosses out. Do you realize how good this defense would be if Boubacar and Morrison were still healthy? That was my note there. That would be.
Yeah.
They're pretty damn good now, but that with those two in there. I also said secondary is legit.
You said Bortello, right?
Huh?
You said Bortello if we had Bortello?
No, Boubacar
and Bortello.
I said Boubacar and Morrison.
Oh, Morrison and Bortello.
And
we
Bortello.
had all three of those guys. Bortello's coming back next year, by the way, for a 6th year. Go ahead.
I hope Morrison comes back and Boubacar should do, but
Morrison's going to be too high of a draft pick. He's going to.
I think he needs to come back and just. Like
I agree.
Healthy.
I agree. But
they've got the secondary's come alive since he's back there, so there's depth. Secondary is still legit though, locking these receivers down big time.
Oh, who was the player of the game on defense? I don't know if he was a player of the game, but like as far as I'm concerned, it's the guy that I saw in the mix every single time, not only on defense but on special teams. Don Schuler, number 8. That dude was the one who deflected the first punt.
Oh, the punts.
But the punts were teams. Like the punt blocking. I feel so sorry for the Seminoles because their punt blocking was
horrible.
Protection, is that what they call it? Protection, punt protection. Is it?
Punt protection.
It was terrible. It was it was horrendous. Yeah. And Notre Dame every single time had a chance to block a punt. Even in the fourth quarter, they were just still doing it. So, anyways, go ahead.
Well, so they scored. I don't remember what the score was leading into the second quarter, but as they got in deeper into the second quarter, I wrote down, why has this offense scheme changed all of a sudden, causing Riley Leonard to run all the time? Like he started running and he was getting stuffed and he was getting hit and he wasn't. He had that one big long run and it was all of a sudden like, oh, I'm going to start running all the time now.
No, I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know why he was doing that. It was stupid.
I had mentioned to you during the game about how he looked off and he was spazzing and like he just couldn't, like he just didn't have the confidence like that I saw during the Navy game, during the game, the previous game, which was what, who I don't remember, but I believe before Navy. Who is that?
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm just kind of looking here.
That would have been
Georgia Tech. Yeah,
maybe.
So they actually
beat Miami today,
right? Yeah, just to bring up another point, they got their starting quarterback back in the mix. We played against their backup, but still, Georgia Tech's a great team. I think if they were healthy. I mean, obviously you saw what they could do today or on Saturday. But going back with Riley Leonard, the fact that like in the Navy game and the Georgia Tech game, he just had confidence. And we had talked about this prior to the break. The week off was that Sam Hartman, he had talked to Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman was just told him to go out there and do his thing. And and that's what he was doing. And he seemed a lot more comfortable. And now with the week off, he comes back and plays Florida State and looked uncomfortable again.
He got
at times he was overthrowing balls. He overthrew a ton of balls.
That third quarter, I don't want to jump ahead in my notes here, but that third quarter, were you listening to the TV broadcast or the
TV? Yeah, I got lazy.
That's okay. They ripped out. They were saying that Leonard missed the tight end on that close play down low, and
on the TV broadcast.
Yeah, and what's his face? The offensive coordinator is ripping his ass because he missed because he didn't. I think he was I think he was trying to push it again. I think he was trying to push the ball. And I'm going to just cut in here and then I'll let you go. Something I heard earlier today on the ESPN, Saban talking, his quote was, as a quarterback, you should be a point guard, not a shooting guard. 15 assists, no turnovers. And that's exactly what Riley Leonard was trying to do, is be a shooting guard by fuck this tight end over here, where I'm going to try to go for the touchdown right off the bat. And that's, I think, his fault right there.
I think you're right. I mean, because you had a play designed for what's his name, Mitchell Evans.
Yep.
And he was open. It's a quick snap and throw, and Mitchell Evans probably would have maybe got in, or he would have got to like the 1 yard line. But you're right. Riley Leonard took it upon himself to look away from that, and he almost had what's his name? What's the lacrosse guy?
Oh, Faison.
Yeah, he almost had Faison.
Tyler Buckner.
Faison was like a half a finger's length from a catch there. So it was actually a great try by Faison, but he just couldn't get it. And Riley Leonard just didn't put it in the right spot, but whatever.
And if you didn't forget, second quarter we missed a field goal.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Which is stupid.
Well, here's the thing about Jeter, is that he just came out. He just came off an injury. He was gone for like the previous 2 games, and so he came back, and I think it's totally on him. I think he's off. Because the snap and the hold was actually perfect. When they showed the replay, it was perfect. So, all
right, I'm going religious here. I apologize to everybody.
Hey, can I stop, because we're actually taping this on Saturday night, and it is 11:41. Clutch, did you record Saturday Night Live because Bill Burr's on tonight? Good,
Bill Burr. I totally did. 100%. Carrie's looking at me like, why are you recording this? I'm like, Bill Burr did an awesome Sam Adams commercial once, and I want to see if he does anything wacky again tonight. So that's ironic. So here's my religious feed here, and you can say I'm a little anti-organized religion, a little bit, even though we're a Notre Dame fan. Leonard has that cross on his cheek.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Because if anyone was a quarterback and they were Jewish or Muslim, they wouldn't have the Star of David or the crescent and the star on their of Islam on their face, but he's got this big ass cross down his face. And
I'm assuming that, and I'm not Catholic, so I'm not positive. But the ashes, you know how they do the ashes with the cross or whatever.
During
Ash Wednesday.
Ash Wednesday,
yeah. So I'm maybe it's a symbolic, way of doing that, but just for every, game, it's just a symbolic way of saying that I guess he appreciates where he is, because of God. He is where he is.
Okay.
So, I mean, to each their own. Religions and religious meanings about what you do and how you do it. I'm not bothered by it, and I didn't say you were bothered by it by no means. I think you were just asking the question.
I just make a point that you don't see any other religions doing that. So it's kind of like, it's one of those, I don't know. It'd be like a Bill Burr thing, Yeah. Really, be like, why has he got his cross when he doesn't have a Star David? It's like
it's something he would definitely bring up.
Yeah, I have no problem with it at all. I would expect more people to be proud of their religion instead of just the Catholic or Christian faith. So, anyways,
all right,
all right. Third quarter. Okay, before we go third quarter,
go ahead.
Before we go third quarter.
Yeah.
Key to the second half for both teams. What do you think, Matt?
Key to the second half for both teams. Let's see what this is.
That's got to keep going, but I'd love to see them incorporate some more screens.
Keys to the half. Let's zoom in on this. Keys to the half. Let Riley Leonard run. Fuck that. He's a quarterback. Throw the fucking ball. Quit fucking trying to run it, you dumb spaz fuckhead.
It's very true.
That's all I had to say. That was me. That was me, like, pissed off.
By the way,
I got a lot of trouble for recording that in the middle of the house, but
I bet.
I sent my daughter to bed because that was the tipping point. She's like, I'm out.
By the way, Matt Castle looks like he could be Riley Leonard's like dad.
And the funny thing is he's younger. Isn't
Right.
he younger than
That's what I'm saying.
Leonard?
He's
Leonard,
prob-
like we see Leonard on Big Noon Sunday or whatever, and he looks older than Leonard.
He does.
Oh,
all right. Let's break down this game. Clutch.
Third quarter. Ready?
Yeah.
Leonard continues to dance in the pocket, have inaccurate throws. Run defense again blows. Another Leonard run that he tries to push for the first down marker versus just getting out of bounds. That was the one where he ran up just up to like the 5-yard line or whatever, and he tried to push it and he got clocked, and I thought his knee got hyperextended, but it didn't. But I just like, run the hell out of bounds. Why are you trying to be the game changer as a running back? I mean, just blows my mind. So that was my notes for third quarter.
All right, just going back on, and I can probably do this at the end, but you keep bringing it up, and so I need to put an emphasis on the fact that you keep saying run defense,
block,
right?
Yeah.
Which was the worst part of the game tonight was our run defense. We allowed 120 yards rushing, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, we only allowed 89 yards passing.
Okay. Yep.
For a total of 209 yards, 3 yards a play.
Nice.
So when you put it together, is it balanced? It's close, but
I see where you're going there. Yeah,
barely over 200 yards. We shut this team down after that initial first possession that they had, and where they drove the field, went for it on 2 4th downs and got them. They were actually moving the ball and actually doing pretty well. And I thought they were going to score a touchdown. Obviously, they didn't. They kicked a field goal, and I thought, well, hey, maybe this might be competitive. Even Marcus Freeman even said during the week that he was like, hey, man, they got good players. So don't discount this team. They could really play well if they want to play well. So, but they didn't. So,
yeah, I
agree. The story is they didn't.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I think I kept saying run defense sucked because they would shut them down. They'd sack them. They'd shut down the secondary, and then all of a sudden a run would go for 12 yards, and you're like, oh my god. So that's why I was saying that. So yeah, I agree with you. I see where you're going there. So
I thought the defense again, like if we look at this entire game, this is like your true to form type of Notre Dame game throughout the year. They start kind of fairly slow on offense. The defense even kind of starts a little bit slow, but still plays well. And then they lock down, and then the defense starts making plays. Now, the Navy game was completely different because they were just coughing up turnovers left and right, and we were just collecting them. But for the most part, this team earned what they did on defense tonight. Yeah. I mean, and you've said it before, and we talk about it a lot, even though their defense isn't, I don't think it increased throughout the year because they lost Hutch, was the Lions defense. I'm comparing pro to college, but like, it's just that team mentality. I feel like this team is so, I mean, even when we lose a guy like Morrison, we have another guy come in, a young guy.
Yep.
Leonard Moore or whatever. And these guys just replace them, and they're just like, they're all brothers, they're all just, they all gel and they all mesh, and then they're playing as one unit. And I think that's the greatest part of a team is when you don't got like some superstar that's trying to act like he's a superstar. He's just playing as one unit. And that's what Notre Dame's defense is doing right now. And I like it because I see it with the Lions. I mean, 2 different coaches. But
as you can see from a lower third, though, as you're talking about that, I still think that they need to. They really need Buckner in there. I saw him on the sidelines twice in green, and I'm like,
he is the placeholder, but he is the placeholder, Clutch.
Dude, he used to be the quarterback for Kelly, so he can throw the ball.
He's the placeholder.
And he's not bad at running. Does he want to be the starter? No, but put him in there in a couple plays as a decoy, and then one day you're going to pull the trigger, and he's going to hit the ball and throw a fucking bomb, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, because he's got that. Remember, he had that quick release. It was almost like odd.
Yeah, he's kind of got a bullet.
I don't know why they got him buried so much. It's like whatever.
Well,
All right, fourth quarter. Love
Yeah.
continues to struggle running, and you're right. Price looked unstoppable. Like
Did
he
he
ran
just
that. They didn't put him in after that long run until the very end. They had him in a couple plays after that. I think in the fourth or late in the third quarter, but he didn't play at all after that big long run he had.
No, which is weird. And to me, it felt like this is what it felt like. They put Jadarian Price on a supercharger, like a battery charger, for over over the weekend, the off weekend or whatever, and just took him off because he was just like you said. It was just like every time he touched the ball, it was like you could
How
tell
many
that
carries?
he was
Look,
just
why
supercharged.
why I ripped through these fourth quarter. Look up
Yeah.
his number of carries he had, because I guarantee it was less than 10.
Oh, they dropped off. They certainly dropped off after the first half. So
Love continues to struggle. Another. All right, I'll wait because you might want to talk.
Jadarian had 7 carries for 95 yards. He obviously had that long
7 carries.
Yeah, which was amazing. The way he was able to keep his back heel off.
I saw.
White line.
I remember 3 of them. He had the long, like 10 or 12-yard carry. Then he had the bomb for a touchdown. Then he had another carry later in the game. And I remember him running out of bounds, but he like juked a couple people and kept going. And I was like, damn, he is just fucking on fire. So that's 3 out of the 7. He didn't run shit today in terms of the number of carries. What was his average?
13.6, but he had that long one. He had that long one. What was it, 60-yarder, wasn't it?
Fuck.
So here
he didn't run it a lot.
But here's another. And let's look at the second leading rusher was Riley Leonard, who had 11 carries and 70 yards, 6.4 average, 2 touchdowns. And Jeremiah Love had 9 carries, 2 more than Price, 19 yards for 2.1 average, 1 touchdown. And then Aeneas Williams, the freshman, he only had 2 carries, 11 yards, 5.5 average. That's pretty decent.
He did a lot of screen passes and stuff.
Yeah.
I think is what he did, but he was in because he was in a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, he was in I think the first possession, you know, our first possession when we went down the field and scored, he was playing already. And I was like, wow, that's good. Yeah. I like him as a running back. He's a different type of running back. It's like a little bowling ball.
Fourth quarter, Love continues to struggle. Another game where Tyler Buckner doesn't get on the field. When are they going to figure out that they've got an accurate thrower and a fast runner that they could have on the field for trick plays? Peanut butter and jelly with the perfect throw in the end zone. Let Riley Leonard get hurt. I don't care because Notre Dame has a pretty kick-ass backup quarterback.
Well, Deion Colsey, remember him? He's been around. He's like an 8th-year senior or something. That dude, I have not heard from this guy.
That was his catch
all year. Yeah, his catch, number 0.
It was a good throw. It was one of those wacky ones on the back corner.
Right.
And the last thing I said is Luke Talek, which is the guy that got the interception, pick 6.
Yeah,
is slow as fuck.
Yeah, he's
when the quarterback catches you on the goal line and grabs your shirt and almost rips it off.
Let's I know. Yeah, I know. And here, let me
that's the end of my notes.
Let's see if
yeah, he looked like a tall dude. He was only a sophomore, but he's from Wyoming, they said.
Yeah, defense. He's not on here. Why wouldn't they have him like interceptions or anything in here? I'm gonna have to find him on Notre Dame's website. Yeah, so you know what? Again, typical Notre Dame game. Typical Notre Dame game. Kind of start slow and then get into our groove. I think our defense hits it first. Our defense starts setting up that wall and then our offense kind of steadily starts to warm up or whatever, and we start playing well. We just, we don't have any. Here's the one thing, and Ian said this during the broadcast. You're listening to the broadcast. They were talking about how Notre Dame doesn't really have a go-to receiver right now. I mean,
they don't need to. They don't need to. They've got tons of them that are really solid.
Great House,
Faison,
Jaden Harrison. Those are the guys, and Mitchell Evans finally.
Finally
getting his first touchdown tonight.
Bo Schembechler, or whatever his name is. What's his name?
Bo Mike Collins. Bo Collins.
Bo Collins.
I said Mike Collins.
Bo Mike Collins.
Right.
Yeah, I think they've got a big portfolio of wide receivers to throw
Justin
to. So.
Fisher. I have never heard of this Justin Fisher guy.
Mm.
They
He
do have
works.
a freshman that
He works at the linebacker on the side. He's not a scholarship player.
what was it? Walk-on, preferred walk-on, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah,
Okay. Do you see John Bon Jovi still coming to the guy? He looks
he's a hardcore Notre Dame fan.
hardcore.
Fuck his
Baddest.
son. His son didn't amount to anything.
Okay, tell me why. What's his name? Larry Fitzgerald was there.
I don't know. I was confused. Where did he go to school? He went to Arizona.
Does his son go play for Florida State?
I don't know. Where did he go to school?
Larry Fitzgerald. Maybe he went to Florida State.
No, I thought he went to like Arizona and then turned around and played for Arizona in the pros.
He's from Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
He went to Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's right. He went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
That's right.
Pittsburgh. Yeah.
The
Nope,
Pittsburgh guy. So why was he at the game?
I don't know.
Does he have a son? Does he have a son that plays football? I don't know. What's your personal life? Anyways, who cares?
We're going long.
Yeah. Are we? Are we into the? Oh, we are. We are over the half an hour time. But you know what? Let's continue on because we got more to talk about because we missed a podcast last week that you might be able to hear if you donate tons of money. Let's talk about the college football rankings. They were released this past last week. I'm sorry, last Tuesday on Election Day, actually. And Notre Dame came in at 10th. One spot above, I think, Alabama. Clutch, do you agree? Do you not agree? Do you like the position? What do you think about Notre Dame's? Like, I know none of this makes any bit of difference what they are ranked right now. I guess it does. I mean, because they have to move forward. But is this a good starting position for Notre Dame now that we're releasing these polls leading up to the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care at this point because it only matters at the end. Notre Dame, I think Notre Dame needs to be in that first chunk of teams. Was it 5 through 5, 6, 7, 8, 5 through 8 that will host a playoff game, right?
Right. So, well, they should now be ahead of Georgia Tech, correct? No, I'm sorry, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech beat Miami. They should be ahead of Miami. Miami should fall behind Notre Dame. In all seriousness,
maybe,
don't you think?
Maybe. I think they would. I think
the way that Notre Dame played Georgia Tech and the way they played them and the way they destroyed them, they played them in Atlanta.
Who did Georgia Tech? Oh, they beat So Miami. Who else lost today? Georgia did too, right?
Yeah. So
those are both. I don't know how much that's going to affect Notre Dame as far as either one of those teams, because you're looking at those first 4 teams are all playoff. Those are all conference, big, the big, what is it? The Big 5 conference champions. So it doesn't matter what happens there. You could have a team that's like 8-4. That's in that that's what people don't understand. In that top 4, if you went out your conference championship, you're in the top 4. So you could have a scrub team that play, like you could say, Michigan comes back and has to play Indiana for the Big 10 championship, and Michigan could technically win and make the top 4 of that playoff system, I believe, because they won their conference championship. Now, is that going to happen? Probably not. But so I'm not worried about the top 4 right now. What I want Notre Dame to do is be right in that 5 bracket, 5 through 8. But I'd like to have them at 5, so they play whoever's at the end, the suckier team, and they're playing at Notre Dame, hopefully in like some kind of winter squall. And they get like some shit, and it's like Alabama or something like that. And Alabama's like, "What the fuck is this cold ass shit?" And they are like,
lake effect snow coming down.
Yeah, that would be fucking amazing. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see him at number 10 and playing at Alabama, because that's not really going to be to work to their advantage at all. So that's where I kind of look at this, and I just kind of want to sit back and wait, kind of see how it settles.
Well, it'll definitely be interesting. Nonetheless, Notre Dame has 3 games left. Next week they play their last
Virginia.
home game of Virginia.
Virginia.
And then
And
followed
Army.
up by Army in New York City, and then they move on to LA.
University of Southern Cox.
Southern. Fuck off. Yeah, they're not good
USC.
this year either. They're terrible. I mean,
No.
and they actually said that maybe Lincoln Riley, the head coach who took that job from Oklahoma, the same year that Marcus Freeman became coach after Brian Kelly, they said that he may not be around.
That
when
Florida
Notre Dame,
State coach,
when Notre Dame
coach
plays
might be
USC.
gone too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you
so-
think they'll get rid of him before then?
Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Okay.
So who knows? What else, Clutch? Anything else that any other news that we're missing here about
Brian
Notre Dame?
Kelly losing today, so he's now
Yeah.
what 7-3, I think. I
Yeah.
don't know what that is now.
No, actually, here's a stat because they gave this stat today. He was 13-0 for night games at home.
Yeah, he lost
Yeah.
tonight,
And
big
he
time.
lost tonight. So ESPN screwed him because they publicized the shit out of that stat.
Final score of that game was Alabama 42, LSU 13. So
Yeah. Yeah.
big time. Whoops.
Oh, here's the thing I wanted to bring up. During game day, Nick Saban was talking Notre Dame as they were going through teams that were in the top 10.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
had said, did you hear this? Where he said Notre Dame is, they're definitely going and should make the playoffs. However, they are not a championship team.
I would say the same thing beginning of this year after they lost to NIU. But now that I see the dynamics that's going on with all the other big schools, I mean, there were 5 undefeated teams. Now there's 4.
I told you when we a few weeks ago. There are only a couple teams that are really scary. One we know for a fact that it's scary because they are the number 1 team, and I've actually watched a few of their games, and that's Oregon.
Oregon.
So they're going to
Who
come
else
in.
was
and that's a
undefeated?
tough game.
Oregon, Indiana,
It was BYU undefeated, but
BYU.
but they're playing tonight though too. I don't get somebody.
Yeah, and then who else? There's a
They're
fourth
playing right
team.
now, and they're losing right now as we're speaking. During Saturday night, they are losing at halftime, 21-10 against Utah. That's no joke. They could they could go, and then we got Penn State.
Penn State's lost the
won.
game, haven't they?
Yeah, they lost the game.
Yeah, who else is undefeated? There's another team. There's 4.
Indiana. There's Indiana.
Indiana, BYU, Oregon. Who's the 4th one?
Army.
Army. That's right. And Notre Dame's playing Army, so that'll take that one out. So I mean, Indiana.
If they win,
I thought honestly,
Clutch. They only beat North Texas
yeah.
by 9. I'm sorry,
Right.
11.
No,
North Texas.
I was surprised that Indiana struggled today. I really thought they were going to hand Michigan their ass.
Well, they started to. They started to. They were
Yeah.
14-3 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's what they did with Michigan State too. They went up 14, or no, they were down 10-0, and then they handed them their ass. I thought that was going to happen today with Michigan, and Michigan hung with them the whole time. Indiana, believe it or not, to me, Indiana is a scary team too, because it's one of those teams where if you're anybody going up against them,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, it's Indiana. And no matter what your coach says, the rest of the team is like mentally not
just
tuned in.
unprepared, not prepared.
And then they go out, and I saw some catches by those receivers and the throws that quarterback was making. Impressive as hell. They are not the Indiana team of old. So
Ohio State still looks good. I think they got 1 loss, right?
Ohio State has 1, yes.
Yeah. So, but they still look good.
Yeah, it's just those 4 teams we mentioned. Everyone else has 1, and that's the thing is Notre Dame just needs to win out, do their thing, win out, and just
Georgia's number 2, and they've lost 2 games.
Well, they lost the second one today.
I know. That's not going to push them out of the top 10.
No, it won't, but it'll push them back some more. I mean, anybody that's got two losses isn't necessarily going to be behind Notre Dame. They may still be ahead of Notre Dame because the voters are still hung up on that NIU loss. But it's going to help out Notre Dame. That's why I think Notre Dame needs to fucking lay the hammer on everybody they play. I said to Carrie right off the bat, my wife right off the bat when we played the game today, I was like, they better lower the hammer on this. So right before halftime, I was like, they're rolling down. I'm like, you better score because they're getting the ball back in this third quarter, and you guys need to lay the hammer on them, because if you don't, they're not gonna get voted higher than they are now. So,
right.
What are you watching? I hear it in the background.
No, this is the closing music. So I'm just inching in the music, Clutch.
Okay.
Thanks everyone for listening. We went longer than I wanted to, but you know what? We haven't been here for a couple weeks. Clutch, thank you very much. Thanks for listening to another episode of Broish. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. And let's go Irish.
Magic like a green comet, we devour the field. Opponents vomit. Florida State fading, can't match our pace. Irish warriors, victory and embrace. Victory and embrace.
You need to upload this
Here
to
comes
YouTube.
Notre Dame in the zone. Smackdown City, every yard our throne. Irish pride, we don't play. Taking down the Seminoles all day. All day.
Kyron Williams left side into the secondary. Williams down the sideline. Kyron Williams, my God!